The National Rifle Association will hold its annual convention in Houston, Texas this weekend, the very state where 19 elementary school kids and their 2 teachers were brutally gunned down in their classroom just 3 days ago. Several Republicans are scheduled to attend. Remember these names: Kristi Noem, Donald Trump, Ted Cruz, all potential presidential contenders in 2024. These events bring the Republicans votes. They also inject dollars into the NRA's reserves, dollars that top NRA officials have been accused of spending to support lavish lifestyles. Back in 2020, New York Attorney General Letitia James sued the gun sales promotion group, seeking to dissolve it. The rot ran that deep, saying NRA officials were defrauding the organization's donors, spending millions on trips to the Bahamas, private jets, all expense-paid safaris and yachts. They were living like czars off the death of American children, churchgoers, shoppers, and workers. The NRA then declared bankruptcy, but a federal judge dismissed it, finding that the petition was filed to gain an unfair litigation advantage in the lawsuit. A few months ago, a judge blocked the bid by Attorney General James to shutter the NRA, but allowed her suit against it to move forward. Joining me now, David Hogg, co-founder of March for Our Lives and survivor of the 2018 shooting at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. It is good to see you again, David. Does it surprise you at all that the purpose of the NRA appears to be, yes, selling lots of guns and making sure that the really people that they care about, which is gun sales manufacturers, make a lot of money, but also living like kings?
Unfortunately, no. It's very clear that the NRA board and the leadership is not the same as the membership. I've talked with many of the members. I've actually found some common ground with NRA members. It's the leadership that is constantly telling Americans that we can't agree on this issue, that we can't do anything about this. Look, Joy, I'm not going to lie. Americans are obviously very divided. We know that. We know what we don't agree on. We need to focus on what we can agree on here. That's why I've been talking to people like former Congressman Joe Walsh and a number of others who actually have come forward, including the former chairman of the RNC, who said that they want to figure out how we can work together, not as Democrats and Republicans, but as Americans, and what we can agree on to help save our kids. And look, I don't agree with everything that Joe says. I don't agree with everything Michael believes in either. But we do agree ultimately, and I know the vast majority of Americans do, that we must do something to save our kids, which is why we're calling for a march, a second march for our lives on June 11th around the country, for Republicans to come in, for Democrats to come in, for Americans of all political affiliations, and show up and march with us to demand Congress be united in the way that Americans are starting to coalesce and become united around this issue. We do agree. We agree that gun violence must end. And if you agree with that, if you want to join us and demand Congress act, text MARCH to 954-954. Once again, that's MARCH to 954-954.
Yeah, and look, there were students marching, walking out today from all over the country. There are these walk. I think we have video of. And kids are being called upon to lead to try to save their own lives, which is embarrassing for me as an adult and as a parent. But the same thing happened with you guys. I mean, the March for Our Lives, I attended it. It was one of the most incredible rallies, moving moments, including X Gonzalez, who did this moment of silence for 6 minutes. I've never seen anyone command television and understand the power of silence like I've never seen anything like that, right? And it was so moving, and it made a lot of us believe, okay, this is going to happen, right? Nothing happened. And the reason it didn't happen is money. Money is more powerful than even that image of a survivor of a school massacre. Look at the money. $13.6 million over his career lifetime Mitt Romney has taken in from the NRA. You can go all the way down that list to Marco Rubio, who also has run for president. That's part of what boosts their numbers. The current top 5 recipients of money from the NRA per Open Secrets are John Boozman of Arkansas, James Langford of Oklahoma, John Thune of South Dakota, Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, and John Hoeven of North Dakota. Those are the people who would have to come together with Democrats to pass the thing everyone, including every gun owner I know people with homes full of guns, and even they say that you, at your age, should not be able to buy an AR-15 because you can't rent a car probably. Right? That somebody 18, 19, 20 who can't rent a car should be able to get this weapon. They agree on it. Gun owners agree on it. Okay? Those people who get that money are paid to say no. How do you change that?
Look, I think it comes down to people like Mitt Romney thinking about their kids, honestly. I think in this moment, it's really hard, even if you've taken that amount of money, to look and say kids being dropped off at school and only being able to be identified by their DNA is somehow acceptable in our country, that has to be the cost of this issue. It doesn't. I know that Mitt Romney and others have taken a lot of money from the NRA, but ultimately, if they want to play ball and they want to do something around background checks, for example, or red flag laws, Rick Scott, has done a lot of stuff. The Florida state legislature is largely owned by the NRA, but guess what? We showed up and we demanded action. And we did change gun laws. Because of the laws that we created, we disarmed somebody who threatened to kill my own mother through a court order with a right to due process. And that law that we created has now been used nearly 6,000 times in the state of Florida to disarm people that are at risk themselves or others. These laws do work, but the reason why it worked is because we worked together with Republicans who I very much do not agree with. There are even things in that bill that we passed that I don't agree with. But ultimately, we passed a law and it did save lives. And guess who signed it? Rick Scott, who's in the Senate and has also taken money from the NRA, right? I know that they may have taken money from the NRA in the past, but ultimately, if they want to do the right thing now, even if it just saves one life, I'm here to talk to them and meet with them, anybody. Because my goal here isn't just to attack the NRA. It's not to attack Republicans. It's to attack one thing, and I think all Americans can and should be behind this, attacking gun violence.
Yeah.
Because none of us think that should continue, and we need to demand that our leaders act. And importantly, Joy, as Americans, we need to make sure that the media doesn't just move on from this issue and then it goes away and we wait until the next Sandy Hook because it's going to happen, or the next Parkland.
You're
we need
right.
to act now, even if it's just one thing.
Yep. Republicans, kids and grandkids shouldn't be shot down in school either. And so everyone should agree on this. Every gun owner agrees on it. We should just do it. David Hogg, thank you very much. Always good to see you, hopefully under better circumstances.
March with us on June 11th. Thank you.
Thank you very much.